We are OXI Instruments, and we are here this year with the evolution of our sequencer, the OXI One. This is the MK2 sequencer. The reason that the MK2 sequencer exists is that I wanted to provide more tracks, more sequencers. That's why this comes with up to 8 sequencers, which means that you can have up to 64 tracks if you set them up in multi-track mode. So the philosophy is still the same: compact machine, 8 gates outputs, 8 CV outputs, a lot of connectivity. Now we have an SD card as well that allows you to store as many projects as you want. Basically, you can also store groups and scales in the SD card and share with other colleagues. So you only have to take out the SD card, put it into another OXI, and you have your projects ready to go. So more or less the layout is the same, a little bit bigger screen, more clear. I make room for the bigger screen, so now the buttons are reduced, but still the same form factor. Now we have these 4 buttons free, which allow me to add more features, more direct access to new features. For example, performance mode. Why performance mode exists? Because I wanted to have immediate access to all the tracks from one view. Here you can mute and unmute any track, for example, in multi-track of any sequencer, right from this view. Features that this performance view offers is fields. So, for example, you can add fields on let's try them really quickly. Let's see if we can hear anything. So, for example, I can launch my snare, my hat, launch the kick, my hat. I can do fields. I can loop. Perfect. We can transpose. We can mute other tracks, for example, mute right down here. We can mute the kick and the bass, for example. Exactly. All right, you get the idea of the performance view. Mode lanes, we have 8 mode lanes per sequencer now, available in all modes. We have the new Gen feature that allows you to create patterns in a kind of a faster way. Let's try it. Let's mute the other sequencers, and let's make a real quick example of how Gen works. We just go to Gen and start adding pulses. So that's one way of working. We can also add our steps. We can randomize these steps. So that's more the idea of Gen. Now we can also add random pulses. And if I add more nodes here by myself, it will take into account in order to create the pattern. So very nice way of interacting with the machine. You add some nodes and it creates a group for you. Another very interesting feature is the grooves. So let's see how the grooves work. We don't have any groove now. We go and select any of the grooves on the list. You can create your own grooves with the app and load them on your OXI. So let's select this groove. We can independently set the amount of groove of velocity and time groove, right? So now we have this time groove. It is now doesn't affect in the velocity, only the timing of the grooves, nice grooves. And now I can also apply accent or velocity groove. And now we have a really nice groove. Cool thing is that, for example, the groove is 16 steps in this case, but I can create a pattern of and the groove is still 16 steps while our pattern is only 5 steps. Nice way of creating movement really fast. I like it a lot. Another very interesting feature, and for me is my favorite one, which is the new repeat engine. How does the new repeat engine works? The new first of all, let's remove the groove so we don't get confused by it. Previously, we could, in the MKI, we could add ratchets. We can still do that. Perfect. But now we can select how many steps the repetition lasts. So for example, we can say, okay, I want 4 repetitions in 4 steps. All right, we have 4 notes. But what happens if I add 7 repetitions in 4 steps? We get out of the traditional 16 grid state based sequencer, more like to say. We can also adjust the velocity groove of the steps. There we go. Perfect. Up or down. And also the acceleration or deceleration of the repeats. And now I copy this step. And we create very, very interesting grooves this way. We can do it with the core mode as well. Let's really quickly do it with core, which is really we can go to performance now and transpose this sequence. And now really nice. Lastly, backlight on all the buttons. The SD card already talked about it, and the range has been improved quite a lot. The grooves can be applied to the arpeggiator as well, which is super nice if you want to play the arpeggiator with the grooves that you created. Amazing. And lastly, the flow button. The flow button can help you to create dynamic triggers. Here, for example, I add this wheel. These notes that I just added will play only if I hold the flow button. And also, the repetitions can only be added if I can only play or be triggered if I press the flow button. So, for example, let's try it here. I am setting the flow condition to all the steps. This guy, I'm gonna remove it. nice way of interacting with the patterns, the flow button, and it will be enhanced so it can be used with other more features. Another extra things, accumulators. We have a really nice accumulator engine 4 pits available for mono with a lot of options, different kind of wrapping modes or accumulating modes. Can be set per track, it can be set per step. You can also assign the chance of the accumulator working or not. You can assign it to the flow button as well. And well, many other little improvements here and there. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the demo.